from each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are, from memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried, and with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight, reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I am Jeffrey. And we are back today with the 126th Disney Featurelength film from July the 7th of the year 1976. It is a film called Gus. And for those that are following along, know that July the 7th is just a few days after our last film number 125. But again, we are on film number 126, Gus, from July the 7th of 1976. Gus has a pretty famous cast. It has Ed Asner, it has Don Knotts back again, and it has Bob Crane back again in his final film. Would you like to start us off with a synopsis about movie 126, Gus?
The inept California Adams, floundering in the cellar of the National Football League, welcome the team's newest member, a mule capable of place-kicking a football 100 yards with deadly accuracy.
That's right. We have ourselves the precursor to Air Bud. Opening thoughts and facts about Gus. Have you heard about it?
I had never heard of it.
Okay.
I was very confused in the beginning about how it was talking about football, and it opened up with like a soccer game. Yeah. This is the only one of their 6 films together where Don Knotts and Tim Conway do not share any scenes.
Yeah, they're like completely separate characters in this one.
Yeah.
Tim Conway's still playing the villain.
Yeah. The mule that was played this, his name was actually Gus. And he was from Yugoslavia.
Yes.
And it's the 91st live action film. I guess that's it.
All right. So we diving right in while you're playing with our cat over there? All right. Well, we're going to dive right in while our cat eats something. So we start off in a soccer game. Like you said, there is a boy practicing soccer on his farm and showing off to his mule, Gus.
Mhm.
But then he ends up falling down a well. Like he's clearly not a superstar like his brother is. His brother's a superstar, he is not.
Mhm.
He wishes that so he falls down this well. He wishes that he has never seen a soccer ball a ball as long as he lives again. And just then Gus the mule boots the soccer ball unbelievably far, and over, like just far and far away. And the kid is shocked. Anything so far about what's going on?
Mm.
Okay. We then cut to America, where there's a football coach who is reading the newspaper about this great kicking mule in Yugoslavia. We learn that his football team is not very good, that's to say the least. They are very bad. And that Ed Asner's character and Don Knotts' character. One's like the general manager, and one is the
Assistant coach.
Yeah. So they're not very good. And it just spends a whole lot of time talking about how they're not very good. Even the band and the halftime entertainment aren't very good. So one of the reps is like, you know what? Let's at least bring them a good halftime show. Let's go see if we can go to Yugoslavia and see this mule. And see if this mule is for real. Because they're gonna sign that mule for the halftime show. Which they do.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty uneventfully. They do sign this mule for the halftime show, of course, with his owner, whose name I did not write down. I don't know what his owner's name is.
Wasn't it Andy?
Probably.
Or was that our last film? No,
So,
his name is Andy.
all right. So the mule and Andy come to California. There's a, while practicing, there's a great kick by the mule. He is
Mhm.
kicking the football. He's crushing it. But it's time for bring it to real life. In the first game of the season, the team is doing really bad as per usual. Uh, the kicker goes to kick the football and he ends up kicking a shoe over the goalpost instead of the football. But it's time for halftime, and everyone's excited to see this Gus, this great far kicking mule.
Mhm.
But Andy gets nervous during the halftime show and he runs off with Gus. But then Gus forces him back, and there's a great punt at the cheerleader pyramid, and the crowd loves it. The crowd goes crazy. Anything? Nope. All right. Um, and the owner is so excited about this that randomly the owner makes a bet that the team will win at least 7 games. I don't even know if it's like a friend, if it's like a betting buddy. I don't even know. If someone.
Apparently, it's his bookies.
So he makes a bet with the bookies. That would make sense. That the team is going to win at least 7 games. But then the bookie bets him back that how about what's up the stakes? The team will make it to the Super Bowl and win, or he loses the team to the bookie. Right? That's a good way to and kind of summarize it all.
Yep, all of his debts will be forgiven.
Or he loses
And
the team.
he can keep the team if he wins.
The Super Bowl after not winning a game. He gets to go back to the Super Bowl. Also, there is a girl that works for the team. Her name is Debbie. She is dating a football player on the team.
Mhm.
But because somewhere in her family they have Austrian heritage or whatever, Yugoslavian heritage, she has to like take care of Andy and Gus.
Mhm.
But her boyfriend's not very excited about this. Okay. But then that night Gus appears to be sick. So Debbie cancels her date with her boyfriend um, to stay back with Gus. But then the doctor comes and says that Gus is actually healthy. He's just a mule. So her boyfriend's not happy at all with this because after the doctor leaves, she decides to go to the drive-in with Andy, the owner,
Mhm.
instead, starting their romance. So this big football guy decides to go to the drive-in to confront her, and almost ends up in a fight with an Incredible Hulk-like guy, some big guy. Anything?
No.
All right. So whatever they end up like
I didn't really think that they were dating. I thought he was trying to date her and he had plans to go with her, and
oh, I don't know. He gets real mad at Andy later.
so I
So
just thought he was like super jealous.
yeah, I have no idea. So, but speaking of things I don't really understand about the next football game, they decide that they're gonna put this Gus mule
Mhm.
in to be the kicker.
Mhm.
Um, and they're like, you can't do that. That's illegal. He's not a football player.
Mhm.
And then they look up
Rules and
the rule
regulations.
book, and it does not state the type of player. So Gus is allowed to play, and they don't have to forfeit the game.
Yeah, it never specifically stated it had to be human.
So then Gus the mule um, kicks a field goal from their own 12-yard line.
Mhm.
So that's almost a 100-yard field goal.
Mhm.
Um, Now the few fans that are in attendance get super excited. There's a successful field goal, and the Adams win their first game.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to like a montage of them winning some games, and they end up getting into the first place in their division. There's more Gus field goal success. Um, Andy ends up getting hurt. Remember how Andy got hurt? I don't know. Andy ends up getting hurt, but they end
During
up,
the game?
I don't know. They end up carrying Andy onto the field Because Gus will only kick for Andy.
I
And
thought he tripped.
he might have. And
Slipped on something.
yeah, but then Gus will only kick for Andy, but he does then kick another game winner and they win. So we're winning. Things are running high. Life is good. We have a Gus the Mule who is the hero. Also, subplot that I didn't talk about earlier is that this dude Andy's parents only care about his brother who's successful and not Andy.
Yes.
Andy is just like he's just the lucky one. He is not he's not a hero. He does not deserve to be praised.
Yeah.
So we cut back to the bookies, and the bookies from the bet earlier, they start to have like a change to their plan because they have to figure out how to stop this team from winning so much. So they hire these two bumbling criminals.
That literally just got out of
Go ahead,
jail.
talk about it for a second.
So they just get out of jail.
One
They're
of them's
being
Tim Conway.
released. Yeah, they're being released. The officer that's giving them their stuff and like wishing them well talks about how he's seen them come in and out over the years and they're always together. And then one of them makes the comment, well, we're going our separate ways this time, so you won't be seeing us again.
Yeah, so they end up hiring these two bumbling criminals to try to stop the mule. The criminals come to pick up the mule, pretending to bring it to the game. But then they end up taking a quote unquote shortcut, making Gus miss the whole game, and the team lost. But then Gus does return, and they do win the next few games, and they march to first place. Gus gets awarded Goodwill Ambassador of the Year, but Andy's parents still aren't proud of him, no matter how hard he tries. The criminals again try to sabotage the mule, but this time by getting it drunk, making a fool of itself at its own celebration day when it was the Goodwill Ambassador. And basically the mule is drunk, so it misses the field goal in comic fashion, dropping them to second place.
Yeah, it's a bunch of hijinks with these
Yeah.
criminals that were hired. They just do all this random stuff to this poor mule. It's humorous, but
Debbie's football boyfriend again tries to attack Andy, but this time Gus kicks him, causing him to get hurt and get traded. And so this dude gets traded.
you know who he reminded me of?
Who's that?
The janitor guy out of
Yeah.
the other movies.
Yeah.
It wasn't him,
No,
but
yeah.
it definitely he reminded me of that character.
Well, he gets kicked by the mule and gets traded off the team. And the Adams make the playoffs. The criminals call Andy to lie to him about Debbie being injured and how they need him to go to the hospital. So then Gus goes to the game, but Andy decides that he's going to go to the hospital to see Debbie, but Gus will only kick.
Right.
Will only kick for that. So they are going to try for the field goal anyways, while Andy's trying to escape the hospital because he realizes that it was all a ploy. He ends up trapping the criminals in there, but he doesn't make it. Like, well, there's this big slapstick-filled chase leaving the hospital. Gus needs to kick the field goal. Not yet. The funny one is not yet, though. We're not there yet. Gus needs to kick the field goal for the team to win with almost no time left, but he won't kick for anyone else but Andy. So then, but then Debbie dresses up as Andy and convinces Gus to kick, pretending that she's Andy, and the Adams win by 1 point, and Andy gets there just in time to watch. But Andy is upset because now anyone can take his place, and his parents were right.
Because it's not like he would actually only kick for Andy. He was only kicking when he would hear a specific word. And I guess with her being from the same country Andy is, she knew the language. So she said the word and he kicked.
It's true. That's a good point. Andy is going to the airport to run away, but everyone there gives him all this attention and they want his autograph, and Debbie comes wanting him stop him from leaving, so she tells him not to run away and to be the hero, and he stays. So he comes back and comes to the owner's house to say he's sorry. and this dude decides to put Gus and Andy in hiding to stop any more criminals from trying to do anything to happen to them. But um, the the bookie guy and the criminals continue to try to find a way to sabotage Gus and the team. So they block the path of them trying to drive to the game. And when they are trying to help move the car, the criminals end up switching Gus with a normal mule, right?
Yeah. That they had painted to look like him.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes no sense because later on he didn't have the white on his face. And that bothered me.
Yeah. So they block the path. They switch it with a normal mule. The criminals end up hiding Gus in an elevator, and they hide him up in a hotel room. Um, and we also learn that it's the Super Bowl, so Andy's parents have come to the USA to watch Andy.
Not really, though.
It's true. His father's still not being very pleased about this. Whatever. Um, an upset. So like the criminals are watching the Super Bowl. An upset Gus gets mad and kicks the television and then breaks out of the hotel room.
Well, it wasn't like he was upset. They were watching the game.
Yeah.
And he heard the word. And when he heard the word, he kicked the television because it was behind him.
Then he takes off out of the hotel room. Um, the new Gus, like the fake Gus, won't kick the ball, and then the makeup starts to wear off in the meantime, and they realize that
They don't have the right
they don't
Bill.
have the right Gus, and the real Gus is breaking out of the hotel room. So then Gus begins to make his way towards the game, and Andy and the owner leave the game to get into a helicopter to try to find their prize mule before it's too late. And this is where the wild slapstick-filled chase ensues with the criminals trying to catch Gus. And I wrote in my notes to pass it to KJ to talk about this wild slapstick chase that went on for half the film. So go ahead.
So this mule takes off. They're chasing it. And he ends up in a supermarket.
Mhm.
So he is just like wandering around the supermarket. They're trying to catch him. They keep knocking stuff over. They try to lasso them, but then that doesn't work. One of them sees underneath the aisles the feet of the mule, so he's gonna reach under and grab and have the other guy run in, but the mule has left at this point and he doesn't realize it. And a woman comes in, he grabs the bottom of her foot. Needless to say, the man she's with doesn't appreciate this and comes around the corner to beat him up. Um, Somehow a bunch of ketchup and mustard containers but they're already in like squeezy things, so it doesn't make sense. They get knocked over and stepped on, and the other guy is just getting covered in ketchup and mustard. It was so gross because he was like eating it, and I despise those things. So it was kind of gross to me that he was eating just straight mustard. But I did laugh. I did laugh a lot during this scene. It was very humorous, and probably one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah. It just kept going on and on forever and ever and ever. The helicopter does end up finding Gus and the criminals, causing the criminals to get arrested again. So they're going back to jail just like they had.
Because they were together, because they couldn't find work
Yeah.
apart.
And they're like, how are we going to get this mule to the game? So they tie it to the helicopter and like pulley its way like in the air.
Mhm.
So they make it. They are on their way to their stadium just in time. The team is down, but Gus begins talk much. Gus begins kicking field goals. Field goal after field goal after field goal. 5 consecutive field goals, but there's only 2 minutes remaining. No one in the football game has 2 minute warning.
Mhm.
Also, the first band I was ever in elementary school or middle school was called 2 minute warning. 10 seconds left, and the Adams are down by 1 point. It was probably middle school.
I would hope it was middle school.
Yeah.
I doubt it was elementary school.
It was middle school.
Okay.
2 minute warning. But either way, back to this. So 5 consecutive field goals. They're down by 1 point. It looks like they're going to lose the Super Bowl and they're going to lose the team. Oh, also, for some reason, the Super Bowl takes place in a very small field and it's covered in mud.
Because it had rained.
Yeah, like it is covered in mud. And the with them about to lose with down by 1 point with 3 seconds left, the other team fumbles the ball and the Adams get the ball.
Mhm.
Also, a very important side note is that Debbie's ex-boyfriend dude is traded to the team that they're playing in the Super Bowl. So
He's not happy.
the Adams have the ball, and Gus has to kick an over 100-yard field goal for the win, but he's never done that before, and he can't have his like he's not
He's not
perfect
as accurate at that
at
range.
at 100 yards. Um, and we learn that Debbie's ex is hunting for Andy on the next play. So Gus goes to kick the winning field goal, and what does he do? He slips in the mud. Um, and there's a bunch of commotion going on, and basically, um, the Gus is exhausted from all the commotion in the chase, so he slips in the mud. And
I think he did it on purpose.
well, either way, it's a muddy mess.
Kind of like he faked being sick.
It's true. It is a muddy, muddy, muddy mess.
Mhm.
And Andy has to grab the ball and start running from the end zone all the way to the other end zone.
Yeah.
He is being chased by the former teammate, and he slips. He gets past many tackles, literally. Like he is just running and running and running like a video game.
Oh,
Yep. But the muddy ball,
moves it a couple times.
the muddy ball can't be stopped, and Andy continues his incredible run, and Andy scores the touchdown for the Adams to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody celebrates, and Andy and Debbie kiss, even though they are covered in mud. That's disgusting.
Not as disgusting as ketchup and mustard.
Oh, yeah. Let's look at maybe put mud on a platter and ketchup mustard on a platter and see which one you're going to enjoy eating more.
One of them you are kissing, the other one's getting shot straight into your mouth.
Whatever. Mustard's good. Either way.
No, it's
So
not.
it's a muddy mess. This dude scores the thing, and he scores the lady. So everybody's celebrating. Andy and Debbie kiss, and Andy's father recognizes and celebrates him as a hero.
Mhm.
And then Gus winks, and then that's the end of the film.
Because Gus set him up to be the hero.
And that's the end of the film Gus.
Yep.
Thoughts? Ratings?
I
Trivia facts?
definitely didn't think it was gonna be what it was. It was interesting to see some of the actual football players. Some of them were
There's actually like real football players that were in the game because we didn't talk about
Yeah.
the announce booth. Like there was a whole like plot with like the announcer trying to be funny and stuff. Bob Crane with a real announcer. Go ahead. though.
Yeah, so they had like real announcers, they had real football players. Some of them were credited, some of them
Mhm.
were uncredited. But you saw teams like the Green Bay Packers and stuff. So I don't think the Adams were ever a real team, so it's just kind of weird.
No
But
idea.
anyway, the chase scene playing on the drive-in screen that you were talking about earlier, was actually from the movie. Are you ready for this? The $1 Million Duck,
There you go. We watched
which
it.
was also directed by the same director that did this movie.
Mhm.
And let's see. The distance. Oh, you already talked about the distance there and why he couldn't do it. Oh, the word that he would kick to was oyage, which I probably butchered that now, which was from the Serbian language, which translates into English as travel. So when he would hear that word is when he would kick.
There you go.
And then, like you said at the beginning, this kind of got the start in the concept for animals in sports like Airbud,
Which we will watch eventually.
and other movies such as that.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a lot of trivia facts that
No.
we didn't
So
already go over.
then thoughts on the movie?
Uh,
Ratings and all that fun stuff?
I thought it was better than I initially thought it was going to be.
It's better than the Treasure of Metacombe. That was not hard to do.
Definitely.
If you haven't watched our last episode, please go back and watch our scathing reviews about the Treasure of Metacombe.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I don't know. It's this was okay. It wasn't great.
It just was.
The best part of it literally was the supermarket scene to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have really liked it as much as I did.
Mhm.
IMDb rated it a 5.7 out of 10. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it was muddy. It was messy. It was fine. I don't know.
This did not
Had the guy.
touch down its way
Yeah.
onto my list at all.
Yeah, before you read your list, it had like a very star-studded cast, and they couldn't stick the landing. But either way,
Yeah.
what is your list upon star?
My list upon a star is 101 Dalmatians, The Parent Trap, Sleeping Beauty, Dumbo, The Apple Dumpling Gang, The Strongest Man in the World, Napoleon and Samantha, Snowball Express, The Jungle Book, and The Aristocats.
Yeah, this doesn't make my list upon a star either. My list upon a star is filled with way more talented animals than Gus. Speaking of more talented animals, my number one is 101 Dalmatians, followed by number two, Mary Poppins, three, Peter Pan, four, Robin Hood. Speaking of talented animals, five, Alice in Wonderland, six, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, seven, Babes in Toyland, eight, The Apple Dumpling Gang, nine, Napoleon and Samantha, and number 10 on the chopping block is The Aristocats. So we made it. We watched Gus. We watched this guy get the girl, and the donkey kick the touchdown, field goal, whatever. Our next film, we are going over to December of the year 1976. We've almost finished with the year 1976, believe it or not. December of 76, it is film number 127, and it is a sequel, and it is the return of an old friend, Dean Jones, and I believe it's the last film directed by a very famous Disney director that also directed Mary Poppins. But it is, of course, the Shaggy DA, the sequel of the Shaggy Dog, which is why Dean Jones is back. But thank you for watching. Again, we are on Instagram. We are on Spotify and YouTube. If you want to give us a like, a comment, a thumbs up, a share, thank you. Thank you for telling your friends. That does tremendously help. So we truly appreciate that. And speaking of talking and sharing and all that stuff, we are on you can email us at deepdivingthemagicpod@gmail.com. Thank you. We look forward to hearing from you. And like I said, our next film is the last one, I think, of 1976 from December of 76. And it will be the Shaggy Dog or Shaggy DA. I'm sorry. And we'll talk to you then.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.
Bye.